Join us every week for coaching and Q&A. You'll learn how to get more listings signed and sold following the simple and fun easy listing method. Plus, find hidden gem tips and get motivated as you surround yourself with like-minded peers in this weekly mastermind. Let's jump in.
All right, everybody, welcome to Monday questions and answers. And also we are going to start working on some ads and scripts and make sure everybody's got their stuff together. So Thursday, we can do the mail merge program. But so Kenneth, I open the floor to you. What were you saying that I'm going to say it to everybody?
Hello, everybody. How's it going, team? I had an interesting weekend. It was my first easy listing open house.
Woohoo!
I co-listed it with an agent that actually lives in the gated development. And she happens to live right directly across the street from the listing. So it was a very easy listing, and I did advanced marketing, but what Robert told me last week was, I believe I was a little too advanced. And part of my mental how I work is I sometimes take in too much information, and I don't, even though I do a lot of writing it down, I don't really digest it properly in linear the way it's supposed to roll out. So I had not understand the correlation between putting it on the MLS and then having an open house the following weekend within 3 days. I didn't understand how important that correlation was. So I actually did a coming soon on the 3rd. It went active on the 5th. And then between the 5th and the 11th was my actually open house this weekend. In numbers, I got 12 people, right? But in my marketing, I got over 1,900 people looking at the property. I did some reverse prospecting and had agents texting me. What I wanted to discuss was how important that 3 days and then having that open house right after you put it on the MLS. I happen to be in that same geographical area as Raymond Plummer and Melvin Burrell. And Raymond's on here today. The unique thing that I saw Raymond's listing, Raymond mentioned nothing about the platform. He listed it just as a regular listing. And I'll let him tell you how many people he got.
I don't know if that was the secret to how my open house turned out, but in sharing my experience, I kind of was a little bit different than what Ken did. I did do the coming soon MLS. I did do my open house 2 weeks after that because I really wanted to get a good salivation response from these people. I established I was actually a little bit over what market demand is for the price of the house. The owner wants 840, but all of the literature, CMA, MLS, 2 different title company valuations, a couple of on-site estimates on values were all down in the mid 70s, but the client wanted to try to go for 840. So I did my discount of 15% off of the 840, had a selling price or an opening bid price of $722,500. And for this community, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 700,000, it really got eyeballs. I believe that from Media Boost, my property got saw digitally close to 17,420 times. On Zip Your Flyer, it went out to over 18,000 agents, and it was open. That particular email was opened by over 15,602 individuals. I did my open house. I had Melvin and a couple other people helping because the week before the open house, I had received over 40 calls on the house. The logistics were starting to become mind-blowing because it's just me. I don't have a team of people. And then the day of the open house, we had over 60 visitors and 30 agents for over 90 people on that day. I was really just trying to emulate what we had learned from Alton Jones when Alton did his open house and had over 100 and something people. We believe that, what you experience, Ken, is probably what we all are. Melvin did his this weekend. He used Zip Your Flyer. They opened the flyer. They saw the great pricing. I'm not sure how many people showed up for his open house this weekend. I ended up having great exposure. I mean, just tremendous exposure. But I have a seller who is not within reason right now because we've had all of these visitors, and I'm still getting visitors to the house. I mean, this week alone, I've had 17 requests by agents to take people out to the house. The seller on the website, I don't even think he went to the website and checked it out, but on the website, I've had two bidders for the property. One of the bidders has upped their bid 4 different times to try to get this property. And I believe that with the combination of the bidding fee at 3.5 plus the bidding amount that they want for the property, the total offer amount is going to be 818. And like I expressed to my client, I don't believe we're going to get an appraisal to support anything above this number here. I think that we should accept where we're at because 840 is really not in a reasonable ballpark. I sent him an extensive 3-page letter with a new RMA, I'm sorry, a new CMA. I sent him a new list of all the current listings that are out, indicating arrows pointing down on the values, prices dropping by everybody. I showed him where there's only 2 houses within a mile radius of his property that are even in the 800 category. And his needs probably about $40,000 to $50,000 worth of work. And so the guy still hasn't budged. But what you're experiencing, Ken, is an opportunity through the listing because with all the agents that have reached out to you, with all the people that have seen the ad, you now have those 40 something agents that have reached out to you who you now want to work. You have them in your database and you want to constantly remind them of this opportunity that you have and remind them equity in real estate is expected to grow 5% next year. So even though you're looking at a discounted rate for what we're offering this property, it's recoverable in the next 2 years. You have to have those agents constantly being hit with something. And this is where I'm in trouble. Since starting this effort, I've received over 120 agent phone calls, text messages from probably just as many. So I have over 250 probably voicemail messages or text messages that I have to get into the database and respond back to all of these guys now because my owner is waffling. But still, I want to continue to do business with these 250 on my next listing.
Hey, Raymond, did you pick up any leads with the people you had the open house?
I have 2 potential listings that may come out of the open house. I think they're just waiting to see the results of this one here because they live in the same tract. The tract that they're on has experienced a equity dip, which a lot of the owners are concerned about because some of them may get into a negative state, but they just want to get rid of it.
Okay. Kenneth, how about you? Did you pick up any leads?
No, I do want to clarify something. And thank you very much, Raymond. I appreciate it. And by the way, I didn't speak to, but I got a text from Melvin. Melvin got 38 visitors. He got 4 offers, and they're still coming in, and he's waiting to hear from some more people. So he did get a good response. And that's as much of the text that he send me, but I appreciated it. And I appreciate you, Raymond. 94 people coming there was great. My inference that you did not list anything about the easy platform on your listing was to say this: it's not the black platform's fault. I'm going to get into what I believe happened. on the MLS, you have to give directions to the property. You also have to give a lockbox location or access information. Well, guess what? I was in a gated community that has security. The security said no one could park inside without a pass, or he's calling the tow truck. That's what he's been instructed to do. Well, guess owner of the listing only has 2 passes, and my agent only had 2 passes. Guess who used those passes? Myself, and I had 5 people helping me. So we parked inside, and they have over 15 guest parking spaces. And I had the list parking is on 120th Street. Well, direct front of the property, 6 cars on either side of the driveway of the entry are people's kids' cars, as I understood, that are parked immediately in front, that it would take a nice little walk to park further down to walk into the gated community. When you get to the gated community, I asked my agent, I said, how are the people going to access? He said, well, they got to call me. I said, wait a minute, Linda, you have to understand. No one can keep calling you while you're walking someone up some stairs to show them the property, and you're going to be letting them in the gate. So I had to hire somebody to literally sit at the walkthrough gate to let in, to make sure I could let people in. Well, guess what? It was a bright, sunny, beautiful day, and they would not even allow me to put up a little cover for the guy at the gate to have a chair and a table there, you know, so that he could have shade. So all of these things accumulated, and I said, I told them after the event, and I did in the Facebook page how my event looked and how I had it set up. But basically, I let Raymond, when Raymond spoke to me, I put him on the phone and on speaker, and she literally heard exactly what the numbers that he got to his property. The owner literally heard the numbers he got to the property. The potential listing behind her, which is a unit behind her, heard numbers he got to the property, and they were astonished. They said, wow, 94 people. So Raymond, I appreciate you letting me put you on speaker like that, because they literally heard this and they was amazed. Now, the owner was so impressed, she said, Ken, well, they have a HOA meeting tonight. They said they're going to press the HOA that they're going to open this up. And so she wants to move forward. She wants to do this again on the weekend of the 20, she wants the 25th and the 26th, those 2 days. I said, we usually just do one. She said, no, we did this one. It looked, you had everything set up great, Ken, but no, let's do 2 days. Going to go out again and come back, and you and Linda take care of it. So on the 25th and 26th, I have another shot at it. She wants to keep everything on the easy platform. I just want to ask you guys, critique that event and what I told you. And Robert, you already told me what I did wrong.
Let's take it a step further. Even for Raymond, I would like everybody to get a little. What I love about the Mondays is I love that we try to figure stuff out as a community. But one of the things that we're trying to do through the training, Kenneth, is we try to make you aware of all the conditions. Doing the open house, and maybe we need to go back through the training portal on that, but how important it is to go out there, pre-check it, set things up, get people to the gate so that we know all these things before they get through, like the guard gate. And that's because you had to go out there and do a video or a listing presentation with them. That's a good time to ask the owner, what do we do about this, that, this, that, this, that? And then you can overcome those things before they ever happen. But that being said, there's still some, and I'd like to give everybody an opportunity to offer Raymond some advice and also Kenneth some advice on what they said. Raymond, did you want to say something else before we get advice?
Yeah, I did. I hear Ken, and I made it a point to actually speak to the homeowners association president because my property too is in a gated community. And I explained to them, I'm with this program and we focus on exposure using this program, and the transparency of this program allows us to get an enormous a lot of people to come. And I think for your housing development here, it may be a traffic issue if things go the way we're projecting. And the homeowner president says, well, most open houses only get 4 or 5 people a day. How many people are you expecting? I says, well, if it's anything like others on the program, I would like to see 100 people show up. He says, 100 people in this community? He says, how about I just have you take the gate code, go out there, stand at the gate, and let all your people in? So we did that because, like I said, the people in this particular community are interested to see how this process works out. I know several of them are enthusiastic. They just want to see us get the escrow with this. With Ken, I need to clarify something for you. On MLS, on MLS here in the state of California, we're different than a lot of the other people on the phone right now, Ken. What the people on the phone and what only one person at EZ is aware of is that I was fined by the MLS here $2,500 for my MLS post. I took the same language that Melvin had used on one of his priors, and I used it on mine. And they fined me $2,500 because it had the word commission listed in it. And all it said is commission information can be located at this website here.
Right.
And, they didn't even give me a chance to take it down. They shot me. The moment I got it, I just took it off. So when you see it, I've come to the realization that in that block on MLS where it says description, and
Right.
agents usually try to put as much stuff about a property and the environment and the city and blah, 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 blah. No, 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 no. I'm only sticking to description of the property now. I won't even give you GPS coordinates. And I will tell you the information is located at www.ezrealestateplatform.com. I won't tell you about fee. I won't say anything about fees. I won't even use that term. I won't even use no dollar reference whatsoever in any fashion anymore, ever.
Right.
And so that leaves the opportunity for this for you, which is why my phone rang a lot. I didn't give a lot of information, so curiosity caused them to call.
Great.
What are the specifics? Exactly what are the sizes of the rooms? Exactly where's the location? My phone was ringing because I did not put information in. So the two things that I've learned from being a part of Easy is price it low, sell it high. Let them seek out as much information from you as they can possibly try to find.
Gotcha.
Don't only give them the 20% discounted rate from now on. That's a starting bid point only. I make that very clear in all my advertisement outside MLS. This is a starting bidding point only. But that number catches the eye. And I think I'm not sure yours was discounted far enough down. Whereas right now, because we are in this bidding process, you have an opportunity to modify your listing agreement and drop it down another 5 or 10% to get even greater interest. Just be sure you define it as the starting point. And then you'll see that traffic come again. But now you got to handle that traffic over there.
Right. Right. Well, guess
All right,
what?
you guys, I appreciate Kenneth and Raymond. Thank you very much for your stuff. What I do like about Raymond's house is we shared, I think a couple weeks ago, how his open house looked. It was like to the nines. He had information galore everywhere. He had flags everywhere. There was no way of somebody getting lost going into his house, even with the gated community being there. He had enough people there to get people inside the gate. And so I think when we do the open house segment in the training, there's always two things that I never want to hear is that, the first thing is nobody showed up, obviously. And the second thing is with those that showed up, I was overwhelmed. And I think even Raymond got to a point at some point he had said that he had gotten overwhelmed because he wasn't able to talk to the buyers and so all these things that we go through in training, you guys, are just back to real estate basics. You got it. People don't really believe when they do this program, if they price home right, that they're going to get 90 to 100 people. Alton had 175. And the only reason why I do such training on open house, do you guys remember my first one? That's when that picture in the training's on. Do you remember how many people we had there on that thing?
300.
Going out there, over 300 people. I had to block the door because I was overwhelmed at the result. So all these things we've learned through, and we've helped you guys try to prepare for. But so that being said, stubborn sellers that don't take, he's got a licensed agent telling him that home isn't going to appraise for even the amount that it's at right now. And he still wants more and more and more and more. I don't know. These are the things we got to find out from a seller before, because I know Raymond put a lot of money into his open house. He put a small fortune in the way it looked and the way it came out. So one at a time. So Bonnie, do you have any comments about any advice for Raymond and Kenneth?
No, I'm new to this myself.
Michael Nikolai.
Well, on the last listing I had open houses every week, and I just marketed the heck out of it through the Facebook marketplace and so forth, and flyering the neighborhood. And I was able to get a fairly consistent 20 to 30 people for 6 weeks before I actually got a contract on it. So just don't give up. Keep it going.
Pick up any leads?
I picked up 3 buyer leads, and I did not get any seller leads.
Okay. Quinn Greenlee, what advice would you give Raymond and Kenneth?
I think as far as how to deal with that situation, I think they're doing the right thing in being able to price it below market and take advantage of the amount of people that are coming in and being able to push the price up.
Yeah, so I mean, good job on everybody. I mean, you're working in the right direction, but again, we have to think of this as
No.
huge marketing from the get-go. So one, you want to have that conversation with your seller up front, explain to them, hey, we want to make sure your house qualifies for this program. And part of that means you have to be reasonable about what you're going to expect. As I'm telling you what market value is, so we have to have good, reasonable expectations from the front end. And then again, we want the house to be listed to the point where we're saying, oh my gosh, this is a mega open house. This is a big event. You should be just as excited about it as Raymond has done a good example of that. And I think, having lots of marketing pushing towards that showcases how much of a big event it is. So those are I think the 2 key things that you have to keep in mind. That this isn't just an open house. This isn't just an open house that we're having regular, same old. It's a mega open house. It's an event. So if you're hosting a huge event, if you're having I just had a 90th birthday party for my mom. It was a big event. Everybody came out. This isn't just a simple open house. So it can't be simple, and we have to set expectations from the beginning.
Joy, Brett?
Yeah, I mean, Ken, I'd probably next time carpool with your agents so you can save a couple of those passes. We've had to do that before, especially when there's tight parking. Park outside and just come in together. But other than that, I mean, you're getting the numbers. You just got to get your seller to reality. I've done this a long time, and what that sounds like to me is a top. When sellers are so crazy about their pricing, we're coming to topping the pricing. Unfortunately.
2 blessings and 2 curses here. The one blessing is it got a lot of visibility, a lot of people. The curse behind it is the owner has a false sense of grandeur behind the amount of people without the realization of the true value. So the next stage, if he at least return the phone call, is if you really want us to try to pitch 840, pay for an appraisal. If the appraisal will support that, I will market the hell out of that appraisal in that 840 that you get.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds fair. That sounds
Yes.
fair.
But right now,
Yeah.
I'm at what we as professionals project is what's going to be the best we can get for your place.
We've got to know that stuff up front from the sellers. You know, if he was asking for 840 of it and you didn't think it was worth 840, it doesn't sound to me, you know, I know that you're a professional. If it's not going to appraise, why on earth, you know, take it for the luck of the draw? But
You know, Robert, you know, the guy, you know, when we went into the program, we knew 840 was his desire. But I asked him on a minimum side, what could we be looking at? And he used the term 820. Right now, our complete offer amount will be about 818. You know, and so he's totally disregarding that, and he's thinking 860 now. I'm like, you've lost your fucking mind. Oh, excuse me, people. I mean,
isn't he a pastor?
I can't sell that kind of dream right now.
All right. So, all right. Well, we're going to move on, you guys. And again, we're kind of late in this for me to get going. What I want everybody to do is I want you to go into our training portal. I want you to pick out a script. If you're going to farm a neighborhood, if you're going to work on expireds, if you're going to do both, pick out a script for it. Put that into Word. Second thing is that I would like you to come out with a postcard for a farming area. Pick out the size you want to go back into your Every Door direct mail account. Figure out the size that you want to do. I always do 6x9s. It's cheaper 5x8s, it's cheaper 4x6s, and more expensive with 9x11s. All right, so pick out a size. And then on Thursday, we are going to do the mail merge program. And there, so have some of your mail lists in Excel format. You can get them from your title companies. You can get them out of the MLS for expireds. Have those things ready to go. And then let's plan on doing that on Thursday. And then we are going to do the mail merge program and get some stuff going for you next week on that. So are there any questions on that? Does everybody know where to get the stuff? Everybody should have a free Canva account. If you have any problems with Canva, translating it over, let Kat or myself know so that we can help you out. If you have a hard time making an ad, you know, if you schedule some time with me, I'll spend a half hour with you creating an ad. So it's going to give you guys an update. The leads that we have coming in are going well. We are working them, and we are going to be, we've given out a few of you to we're going to Mikhail. We're going to talk to him after we've got one down in Naples. Adam's going to talk, both of us going to talk to him after the training today. So any questions about the postcard, about the scripts that you need to get going? Okay. And then Thursday, be at your computers. What's that, Kenneth?
Yeah, your ad script or the script on the postcard?
Have a postcard made up.
Right.
And then if you're going to send out letters to expired listings, have that ready to go. And have a mail list ready to go.
Thank you.
And if you need help with any of those things, reach out, give me a call, and I'd be happy to help you. The other thing that you guys, we talked about this a week ago. Every once in a while, go back in and check the trainings. Go back in and check how to do an open house. Go back in and check how to do a listing presentation. Pricing a home is key to getting people in there. And you don't want to get stupid about the pricing. You want it to be, 15, 20% below market value. If you do the things that we have taught you how to do, you're not getting into Michelle's problem with things being at the right price, because they're at the right price. Remember buyer bucket pools. You got to price it according to that as well. When do we have 100% buyer's bucket pool? When it's a home that every single person can afford. What is not in a buyer's bucket pool? When does it get minimized? Your senior developments, your golf course communities. A lot of people can't afford it. Your mobile homes, your condominiums. All of those things affect the buyer's bucket pool, and we have to price accordingly to accommodate that. And it seems like our sellers still aren't understanding that we are still in a buyer's market on top of everything else that's going on. And it's really important that they understand in the listing presentation, here's the reality. Remember we talked about the trend report? There shouldn't be a question with the seller on what the home's going to be worth in 3 months, 6 months, even a year down the road. We should be showing them those stats out of the gate. And then when he's still being unreasonable about it, bring it back out to him. Remind him. You know, every one of my sellers know I don't just waltz in, take a listing. Every listing that I get is I know it's gonna cost me $4,000 to $6,000 between the pictures, between the walkthrough, between the drones, having a sign placed, having flyers out there, doing some Facebook advertising, running an open house with some food and some other. I know minimally I'm at 4,000, maximum 6,000. The ones that I have 6,000 where the buyer bucket pools are smaller, and I am running $1,000 of ads for the home. Every home that I've done that with has sold. Every home I've done that with, people outside of the MLS market area bought the home. That Nick's magical marketing corner, I know that you guys aren't going into it because I see who goes into it. It's a $25,000 class out of Facebook Market. Yeah, it's 2 years old, and a couple of things have changed. But I'll tell you what hasn't changed: the targeting and retargeting. What we want to go for the housing people. I don't need to send this to hardware stores, right? I know I said that we're going to get to the Facebook and the YouTube channel and get that stuff set up, and it'll be done before the end of the year, I promise. But for those of you who want to get it started, for those of you who want to do some advertising, if you want to get the account, if you go through there and get the account set up, I'd be happy to come in and look at your targeting areas because it's important. You have to look at your ad spend because it's important. Your daily spend, it's important. I do $1,000 of advertising. I don't get it all done in one day. I do it over a month. Period. Why do I do that? Because hopefully the house sells. Hopefully I pick up leads. And I haven't spent the $1,000 on advertising. I usually average about $600 on advertising. That's $200 on Google, $200 on YouTube, $200 on Facebook. So Raymond, you got your hand up for a reason?
Just a quick one for Michelle, please. Hey, Michelle.
Yes.
I just got a ping from a potential buyer. They said they reached out to you on Friday and not gotten a call back. They're having a problem getting their bid onto the site. The name is Kenneth Palmer. The client's name is Majestic and Arthur.
Raymond, you want to do Michelle, why don't you call them after this is done?
Yeah, I will.
The information and follow up.
Thanks for letting me get
And
that.
I can tell you one thing that I've never heard about our customer service department is that they haven't been able to get in touch with her. If anything, it's always the opposite.
They're running her ragged over there, man. I mean, like I say,
Well,
I got 40
not a bad thing.
calling Michelle. I mean,
All right.
One of his buyers and I are on a first name basis.
Yeah. Anyway, Shondell, yes, you can put it on the site after it's been listed. If you want more help with that, give me a call afterwards, and I'll help you with the pricing on that. Oh, Shondell, you have your hand up? You're in two things.
I'm still learning to use this function. The question is, I have a broker who has a listing, and I believe I could get him to reduce the price of his property that he's not being able to move, and he's intrigued, and he's also working and helping me with trying to get listings. And that's what this question is about. So he has a current listing on the market, and he could reduce the price to try to get it moved. At the same time, he's helping me market to get listings. We just started like a couple days ago, and he's passing out my door hangers. And he has a listing I tried to sell over the weekend. My buyer was too picky. It's in West Seattle. And I was thinking maybe we could reduce the price 15-20% to help him sell it because he needs to sell it.
So the rule on that, Shondell, is you reduce the price and start asking for a buyer's premium. It looks like a
Yeah.
bait and switch. So
Oh, okay.
the people who had some luck doing that, they do a thing called shocking the system, where they
Yeah.
go crazy on lowering the price, but everybody knows what they're doing and why they're doing. It makes it much more easier to explain. And then Kenneth, you got your hand raised?
Yes, I wanted to ask, since my listing bidding cutoff was the 17th, the same as Melvin's. I didn't want to take the easy platform down because she agreed to the 25th and the 26th.
It extends automatically.
The question I have is, if no one goes into there and enters a bid, should I shut the easy down until the week of the Wednesday of the open house?
No reason to, because it's a matter of days on market. It's your MLS that's killing you, not the site.
So I should extend the time of the easy
Correct.
program. Okay.
Yeah. And then
Well,
if you keep getting a non-response, nothing, it's probably overpriced for the area. You need to regroup with your seller. And again, that's where you can go back into Zillow, take a look at your list at home and take a look at the likes and saves. If you're gaining huge traction on it, then keep it status quo. Like Quinn had a property, thought was a little overpriced. We looked at his saves and he only had it on at that point 8 days and he was like 10 times what everybody else had. So my advice was to keep it status quo for another week and then let's take a look at Zillow again and see where we are for saves and looks. That's what you find out if you're getting traction on the property or not. If you're the
right.
same as everybody else, then you got a pricing issue. If you're knocking out of the park, then it's pretty safe to say. You want to look at it right now?
Yes.
Yeah, the address, Kenneth.
11926 Olive Glen Lane.
And is that in LA?
That's in LA.
So that's it. All right. So you see here, you got 235 units, 16 saves. That
Right.
is not for 10 days. That is not a lot. So your home looks like it's in the middle of a bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah. I did CMA and the CMA came out at 847.
Yeah, you got a lot of competition right around you there.
Do you know how many months of inventory in your neighborhood?
Inventory?
Yeah, 6
No, I
months.
did not. Yes.
When we did the Cape Coral house, we had about 8 months, and we did a 20% discount. So the number that I got, if it's really at 847, is going to be around that 670 to get, and we got 6,000 views off of that, and that's one of the worst. There was a Wall Street Journal ad that said that's the worst housing market in the country.
So is everybody noticing the days and the views and the saves? Kenneth, is this not a desirable neighborhood?
Is it a desirable neighborhood?
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on if you want to live in that neighborhood, yes, it's very desirable. Mm-hmm.
Well, based on the saves, it doesn't look like a lot of people want to live in that neighborhood.
Yeah. What you're doing now, I had not done, Robert. So I'm gonna intensify my research.
Yeah, it's there's just not a lot on that. That very unusual for LA.
Right.
Hey, Robert.
What part of LA is that?
Which part of LA?
Correct.
This would be the South 120th and Normandy, Raymond. 120th and more the Athens Park community. That's what it's called, the Athens Park community.
Athens
Am I
Park?
right, Raymond? Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So
And
Yeah, it's not a lot of views there. So I don't know what's that's interesting for being in Los Angeles.
If you put a 6 in front of that number, that might drive people. You put a 6.
I absolutely agree. I mean, the 6 only is representing the bidding starting point, and if you put that 6 there and it's going to get you the attention you want, then put that 6 there, get those people there and remind them, this is the bidding starting point. This is the bidding site, easy real estate platform, the offer plus your buyer's premium. This is what your offer amount will be. This is what market value says that this property is. So you're going to be somewhere here. So, you know, we'll talk offline. Okay, Ken?
Okay, we'll
But
do.
I think you may want to talk to the owner because, you know, the shock value that we're trying to go for may require us to go a little percentage lower just to separate you from everybody else that's out there right now.
Right.
Okay, so
Exactly.
if we had the time, I'd ask Robert to see on MLS how many current open listings are in that area within a half a mile of your listing and what are their exact prices. Because I could see the arrows on the Zillow, but I can't tell the half a mile of where your house is.
Right.
That was inside of a block radius, 20 listings.
So you
So
may
that
want to look
half
at,
mile is going to take it a lot more.
Hey, Robert.
Yeah, Colin.
All right. Hopefully this is helpful to everybody. Easy Vest Outside, all what we're doing here for the Easy List and everything. The program is great if we remember the core ideal when we're talking to our sellers. If we're saying to the seller, use this analogy, briefcase full of money. Each buyer in the marketplace has a briefcase full of money. You call it a loan, a VA loan, cash, whatever you want to call it, but it's a briefcase full of money. Give them the imagery, paint the picture. If they understand, like, I've got all these buyers in this marketplace, they've got all these homes to choose from, they got the same briefcase full of money. Where do they go to get the best bang for their buck? Where's the intrinsic value? Where are they going to find the right property? Have those sellers look around with you, like what Robert was just doing, looking at the properties, and ask them, where would they take their briefcase full of money? If you got $840,000, where would you go in Los Angeles for that money? Look around. It doesn't need to be in that neighborhood. Where would you go? Make them enact their brain so that when they're sitting there talking to you and trying to argue with you over the value or what you're trying to do to accomplish that sense of value for them, they can't backtread and go backwards and say, well, no, I wouldn't go spend that money on another house but my own, because that we know that'd be false. We could all look at our own homes honestly and say, if I were to repurchase this again in today's market, where would I go? What would I do? Would I buy the house that I'm in now? Take all the, personal feelings aside, where could I go get the most bang for my buck for the same kind of money? And you would look at it a whole lot differently. Maybe that helps, hopefully.
No, that sounds like something very productive.
Yeah.
I'm going to do.
Yeah, the
I'm going to do that.
The sellers need to know the competition. Everything affects a buyer's bucket pool, or in Colin's case, the suitcase full or the briefcase full of money. All those things affect that. Market conditions affect it. A market condition is how many homes are for sale in that neighborhood. And you've got an extraordinary amount of homes for sale in that neighborhood. So there's got to be something unique about your home that's going to help them. So what's unique about your home is on the reverse prospecting. Hey, I just want to let everybody know we're utilizing a thing called the buyer's premium, where we can help your buyer buy down interest rates, or we can help your buyer come up with closing costs. Maybe they can pay a loan. We increase their buying power by being able to do that, right? That reverse prospecting with what's in it for the buyer. Why should my buyer come and look at this versus the other, 50 homes in that neighborhood for sale? You got to do something to differentiate yourself from everybody else.
Exactly. I got it.
All right, everybody. Anyways,
hey, Robert, can I say something?
Hey, Frank. Sure.
And this goes back to the pricing that we've been talking about most of the hour, and it's probably a little too late for Raymond with his guy, but this is for everybody. I might like to suggest that handout, Robert, that I sent you, the hidden cost of overpricing your home, 20 ways sellers lose money without knowing it. You may have that with you when you first sit down with someone, have them review that before you really discuss any type of pricing. This is all real world factual things that relate to pricing and not having to have an uphill battle. Just a thought.
And that all that stuff is in our platform too, you guys. Back there, Frank sent over 3 documents, very useful.
What were those called again?
The hidden cost of overpricing your home. It's 20 ways sellers lose money without knowing it.
So in the chat, there's a direct link to the download. It'll be in the show notes. I encourage everybody, if you want a resource that was talked about in an episode, open up a replay, go to the YouTube description or go to the blog post. Every replay gets put into a blog post, and our blog posts are sorted in chronological order, with the most recent being the first post you'll see. Take the 30 seconds to get the documents. Save it where you'd prefer to find it on your own devices or in your own Google Drive.
All right. Thank you, Kat. Appreciate it. I did exactly what you said just now.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Have a wonderful couple days. I'll see you on Thursday. Don't forget your homework. Have those scripts ready to go. Mikhail, be talking to you soon. Michael, just give me a call when I got a few things I got to get to, and then I'll be ready to go. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you.